according to the data, 21% of educated Black newlyweds are married to someone of another race.
18, 19, baby, you're a girl, you're a teenager.
I have this theory that I don't think men are serious about dating.
You know, your standards are too high, and my thing is I have high standards because I'm also I raise girls. So.
What is it about these men who are Black, dated Black, become wealthy, rich, more resources, date other?
Back to More to Life. Before I get into this video, like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get into this.
Ain't gonna hold you. I ain't really here for the girls coming online talking about how they got their surgeries because of insecurities and they let social media get to their head and shit like that, because when we as the people tried to say that, we was broke as hell. We ain't had the money to get it. If we had the money to get it, we would have did it too. And that we need to shut up because y'all are wrong about the real reason we're getting these BBLs. Like I seen Lotto say, oh, my body was T. Like before I got my surgery, my body was T. Yes, your body been T, Lotto. I remember I seen a picture of you. You was on the tree. You had a swimsuit on. You saw your tattoo, everything. Your was fat then. I have no idea why you went out there. I think that was even before your BBL. I don't know why you went out and got your BBL. Crazy as hell. Jada Wade talking about cosmetic surgery at 18, 19. Baby, you're a girl. You're a teenager. I don't understand why you feel like you need a fat, big titties at 18, 19. But when we try to say, oh, you know, that was a little crazy, that was a little crazy. We didn't say you looked horrible with that. We just said it was a little crazy. We got called broke. You feel me? Y'all, we was told to shut up because if we had the funds, we would do it too. But now the real reasons of why y'all getting these surgeries is coming out. And just like we supposed to feel that. But it's like we been saying that. We been knew the reason y'all was getting these BBS. We're not slow. No matter what type of story y'all tried to sell us, we knew the real reason. So I'm just saying, nothing that you're telling us is nothing we...
You know, that's the wild thing. And men are avoiding that. Why? You have to think about it. We told them we're okay with how you look right now. Like that girl there. I'm sure the one talking, her butt probably wasn't crazy big. She even said herself, she felt certain ladies didn't need to get the surgery. She even explained Lotto's butt was fine, and it was. I saw her before, it was fine, but you know what? Guys are not interested in women like that. Guys are avoiding women like that like the plague. Why? Because, let me paint a picture really quickly. Most women want to be like the superstars. They want to get that fake fat booty like Cardi B. It looks ridiculous. Guys are not attracted to it, and guys said it over and over. We don't care about BBL bodies. We're disgusted by it, but what happens? They go and do it anyway. You have certain superstars that may be interested, but are they really? Most likely not. But it's bad, man. It's bad.
You know when you see a really fine, wealthy-looking, educated Black man, and sometimes you think to yourself, I wonder if he even dates Black women, right? Well, you were right to ask that question. This has been called the Diana Rossification of the Black family. This now could be called the Quincy Jonesification of the Black family. Let's talk about the data. That's a spicy start, but this really is about data, so it shouldn't be, it's not objective. So, according to the data, 21% of educated Black newlyweds are married to someone of another race.
I wonder why.
Right? But things get more interesting when you get to the split between the genders, right? Because then Black men are twice as likely as Black women to marry outside their race. So that 21% number is the average of the split between the genders, which is for Black men 30%, for Black women 13%. So those are some vastly different numbers, which is interesting because, again, I'm just presenting data. It tracks with what we see in the media with athletes in like the NBA and the NFL, or like actors and all of that, right? But I actually thought we might have just been in like a microcosm where it felt like something was happening more frequently than it really was, right? Like sometimes black women are told like, oh, you guys are doing it too, or you're just looking at celebrities. Like that's not how the real world is. But this data is like based on real world people. Like this isn't based on celebrities. That's for the US. When it gets to the UK, oh, it's a madness, badness combination. The UK is very interesting because in the US, they don't break down a race by ethnicity, right? But in the UK, that's not an issue. Like in the UK, you could see who's like just black British and marrying interracially. You could see who is black African and marrying interracially versus black Caribbean and all of that. So their data is really interesting. Let me know if you want to see that too. I know my audience is mostly based in the US and Ghana, but let me know if you're interested in.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to tell why. Look at the last video. Things like that. Also, nonsense. I remember I reacted to a video the other day where a lady from New York pretty much wanted men to be her crash test dummy. Like she said, my family, my uncles, they care about me. They will crash out. They will do whatever. Look, men don't want crash out ladies to bring home to mama, and you just have to understand that. You have to say that man is not making an investment, but in a way it is, because he doesn't have to worry about bailing someone out, or not even bailing someone out, right? Because that's the max of what can happen. But he wants to make sure he stays with the lady. He wants to make sure he doesn't go to jail. He doesn't have to be bailed out, right? He doesn't want to face any of the consequences that coming along with dating some black woman, how they act. Now, not every black woman is going to be ghetto, but the energy, it's just different. I gotta show this because this other woman is complaining as well, and I want to react to this one.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Diamond from Voices Gathering Live podcast. Please receive this question, this thought with an open mind, and let's have a dialogue. So, what are your thoughts about, and anyone can chime in on this topic, but what are your thoughts about black men who was raised around black people, lived in a black home, attended predominantly a black school, becomes successful at some point in their life, and prior to that success, we always saw them associated with conducting themselves.
No, I gotta say this. I gotta tell where she messed up at, because she used the Kardashians in most of these pictures. And the Kardashians, they're not black, but they mostly get with black men. Everybody knows that. So that was a bad choice of people to use. But I get what you're saying. Let me let her continue.
Themselves with having a curiosity or a connection with black women. But when they become green in the context of making money, their interest in women turns more to the Anglo-Saxon kind or Asian.
Why do you care?
Or other. What are your thoughts about that? Like, I have my thoughts, and some people may receive this question as it being racist, but if we're not willing to have unapologetic, honest conversations where we can learn from one another and agree to disagree healthy, then we're not going to gain knowledge and respect.
Until you change your attitude.
For people who are different or choose different. So tell me what your thoughts are. What is it about these men who are black, dated black, become wealthy, rich, more resources, date other? Can't wait to hear what you think. Peace.
It's not so much about the men. I don't think we need to talk to the men. I think we need to talk to the ladies. But I'll tell you what the problem is. Look at Carlton Banks, for instance, right? Perfect example. Most black women wouldn't date him. If he was a regular Joe Smo, you think he's getting hollered at by any black woman? No. They have guys out there that are like that. And then, you know what she'll say? Oh, well, not him. How about the other people? No. He's included as well. Because let me tell you what they're doing. White women are waiting at the starting line because that same guy, any one of them, could have not been famous, right? Could have been broke, but on their first year of college, on a football, basketball team, those white women are there. They're going to the schools. Yes, some of the guys get scholarships at these schools, but they're there. They're putting in the work, helping out with the homework, things that most black women are not willing to do. So I say we don't speak to those men. We speak to the black woman.
I have this theory that I don't think men are serious about dating
We do not care.
at all. I don't want to marry you. I don't even want to be your girlfriend. I just want to go somewhere public, have a drink, get to know you, catch the vibe. I don't want to just go over to somebody's house for the first time of meeting them. So I set up 8 different dates with guys, all of which I have been talking to throughout the week. Some of them are from online dating. One of them I met in person, and a couple from Instagram. And out of those 8 guys who we've been chit-chatting all week about Thursday night and we're going to go on this date, guess how many of them actually messaged me today to confirm the date or anything to do with it? 0. And throughout the week, we had all organised a place that we were going to go and meet, but none of them have messaged me today regarding that. And 3 of them, we were talking today. I don't think it's like my lack of effort or that they're not interested. I think they genuinely just want validation.
Did she say? I feel like I was in a daze. Did she say she was talking to 3 men? She had 3 dates scheduled today with 3 different men. Men, now I gotta say this: men, they usually don't call to confirm that we'll be meeting today. They just be there, or if he's not there, then just eat some food and go home. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I understand you're a woman and you want things perfect. And most men aren't thinking that way. They're guys. If you say, hey, I'm going to come over and cook some food, I bet you'd call it confirm then. But no, let me be serious for a second. Guys aren't going to do that. Your mom will call you to confirm, your girlfriend, but a guy, no, guys aren't thinking of that. Most guys don't look at AMS, alpha male strategies. Most guys aren't looking to that guy for pointers because that's what you have to do, right? To be on top of your game, you need a full manual. You do a full manual to say, okay, so what next? Okay, so after the first date, then what next? So after I check her out, what can I do for this? You need that. You need a full guy because these women they're scarred.
A businesswoman glassed a man in the face at a pub after he wrongly guessed her age. Joanne Dodd was furious when Carl Cooper suggested she might be 43 when she was actually 39 during a light-hearted exchange in a Manchester pub beer garden. Mr. Cooper went to the toilet to get away from the situation, but when he came out, Dodd ran towards him and twice pushed her wine glass in his face. He was left with a 10 cut that narrowly missed his eye and needed stitches, as well as an injury to his thumb. The mum of one pleaded guilty to inflicting grievous bodily harm and faced up to 3 years in jail under sentencing guidelines. However, the judge gave her a suspended sentence, saying that although there was no excuse for the crime she committed, she could see Dodd was a hard-working woman, loving mother, and no risk to the public. Dodd was sentenced to 12 months in prison, suspended for 12 months, was ordered to complete 180 hours of unpaid work.
I say like this, right? She should have got the full 3 years, but I say, you know what? She did her time and she got 12 months. Justice was served, right? You don't glass a man in the face. And the wild thing, You're 39. He said you look 43. That's 4 years from your age. The man didn't sugarcoat. He didn't butter you up. Like this movement, and it goes hand in hand with the woke movement, right? Because feminism actually it kind of does. Y'all congratulate guys who are on your side, because those guys are on your side. I hope he's right, but at least she got some time. She should get some time.
You think this is a joke? Then you pull us into this and you make me want to quit my job. If I lose my job, I will personally come up there and burn your house down. You have dealt with the wrong mother. You come up here right now and you'll see what I'll do to you.
Yeah, so the reason that we call our former church a cult is because it is a cult. That is one of the praise and worship leaders, somebody who sings on stage, who brings people to Christ. And the craziest thing about it is that whole voice memo was swept under the rug. That voice memo was not sent to me personally. It was sent to a former church member, a woman who lives by herself, who is a single mom, who was friends with this man, who had gone back and forth and had an argument, and that was his response. I don't blame him entirely. I blame the leader of this cult, being the head pastor of this church, who has taken zero accountability for his actions and who does not hold any of his leaders accountable. When people within a cult community serve the cult leader and the cult leader is benefiting from these people, the cult leader will do anything within their power to protect the people who he is benefiting from. And this person who sent this angry voice memo just so happens to be somebody who the cult leader is benefiting from. So this is why we call our former church a cult, because this is cult-like behavior. None of this is normal. None of this is acceptable. And all we're looking for is a little bit of accountability from the leaders of this organization.
Nah, I wouldn't call it church. I wouldn't call a church a cult, right? Let me give what I think on it, because I've been through situations with church people, and sometimes you have to distance yourself from them. I wouldn't say it's a cult. I would say that man had a demon in him. Seriously, that man has a lot of Satan, not God, in him. That's what it shows to me. Not that it's a cult. Maybe they did some cult-like things, but you go there for the word. And I feel like this: if your church is not giving the word, and it's saying, "Oh, come to church on this day," and that's it. That's all it's about, is a day of worship, and not about the right day of worship, or not about the Bible and the Bible alone. Then at that time, it may be a cult, or maybe you should separate yourself from the church and believe in the Bible. That's how I believe, right? Believe in the Bible, follow everything the Bible says, do some reading on your own, and follow it to the T. And then you won't go through these situations.
Why do men act like plus size women have to settle for just anything, just because we're plus size, that we're supposed to settle?
Let me ask you a question, okay? And I'm going to package it up with love, okay, baby? Is it the men who act like that, or is that a personal insecurity within yourself? And I ask that because I see a lot of men who are with plus size women and who are attracted to only plus size women. And I see a lot of plus size women who are with a lot of fine men who are taking care of them and doing a lot of things. So I want to ask you, is that a personal issue that you're not aware of? And for you, that creates a stigma that men see you that way? Because we usually see in others who we are, not who they are.
I used to, but I also know that it was the way I was raised, because I had a mother that just never said I loved you or anything, and I was just told different things. But the older I got, I raised two women. My daughters are 24 and 28 now, and I've done it on my own. But I've also noticed that guys that do approach me or whatever, that's the first thing they're like, well, your standards are too high, and my thing is, I have high standards because I raise girls. So
You can't make this up.
I just didn't tolerate anything.
Your standards have nothing to do with your children. You can have high standards if you choose to have fucking high standards. The thing about standards, men who cannot reach those standards do not qualify. So you.
All right. No. No, I can't let that go by. I can't let it be done. No. Stop it. Now, this is how I feel, right? You're big. Get men who worship you. There are a lot of men walking the face of this earth that look at big women like the best thing ever. I see them talk about it all the time. I love a big girl. You get a big girl and you hit it a certain way. It's just creamy and yeah, that's how they talk about women that are big because they love them. But you can't pit like you liking a guy, right? And he doesn't like you. He may not like you because you're big. You have to understand that. If you drop that weight, so many more guys will be into you. But also on top of that, you just said you have 3 girls. So not only are you big, you have big. It's a big commitment on top of that, right? So you're big, and it's a big commitment because you got 3 girls. So a man is sacrificing that, right? And then he's gonna care about your 3 girls because he's gonna be around them a lot. Like, no, you can't put any and everything on a man. That man that was buttering you up, saying, "Oh, standards, men can't meet him," and the audience started to clap. Men like that need to be thrown in the river somewhere. I swear.
Never change your idea of how you see your standards. It's not about who you're raising. It's not about how you were raised. It's solely about what you prefer, your preference. And if a man cannot reach that bar, he can't reach that bar.
And I want you to work on shifting your perception because it sounds like you said, from a young child, you didn't receive the love or the validation or the affirmations. And so you grew up to be this adult woman who has this dogma within yourself. And so I feel like it's really not the men who are feeling that way. I feel like you carry that with you.
Yeah, I was about to say, Trip, because you was about to say the same thing probably.
I would like to have a real nigga conversation.
The girl said there, but the guy said sugarcoating. I'm sure he probably has 1 million followers on TikTok and Instagram, but it's that wrong. What he did was that wrong.
I'm cheating on my husband, and I finally have the balls to tell the world. I told him, and of course, he didn't handle it how we would want him to handle it. I mean, it's what, he is expected to do. So anyways, I wanted to come on here to tell the whole story of how it all happened, what's going on, who it is, all of that. So first, I want to start by saying, I don't promote cheating on your spouse. It's definitely not something, that we should be doing as women. It's negatively looked upon. So don't take this video as that. And if it's a trigger, I'm sorry. But it all started, so I started having a friendship with this particular person. And it's actually a friend of my husband as well. And we just have been hanging out around him a lot lately. We started out with just simple conversation, like we were friends, but we ended up kind of pushing it past that a little, not a little. I'll get into how far. But we ended up kind of like secretly seeing each other, trying to find ways to see each other, and doing that behind my husband's back. My husband confirms with both Guy and I, and we admitted it. We told him everything right there. Like we said, yep, this is what it is. What you're reading is us. So every time that my husband and I would joke about like me cheating on him, he's like, girl, you will be in a grave, you and whoever it is, and you're never going to leave me, blah, blah, blah. However, in this moment, he did not react that way. He did not. He reacted very calmly. Like I said, I can see that he was very hurt. Like, I can see it. I know him. He's my husband. So he acted very calmly and like very mature, very demure.
I don't even know if I used that correctly, but anyways, he acted very calm.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. No, 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 no. No, you didn't just do that. She tried to add a joke in there. It shows how much she doesn't care. Why would you say very demure in like a joking way as you're explaining what you did to your husband? Now, I'll tell you this, guys. She's a low down, dirty son of a mother, right? And the reason why is because what is she on? She's most likely on TikTok, but she's on TikTok doing this, and she's doing this most likely for the dollar bill, y'all. Right? She made this video. It probably really happened. Explaining her story. The man is crushed. You're promoting it to the world. What are other women gonna be inspired to do? Cheat on their husbands. What are other women already doing? Cheating on their husbands, having babies on their husbands. I hope you didn't have any kids recently, because the husband needs to check that. And husband, if you see this and you see me reacting to your wife, and you have a newly born baby, go get that test, my man, because she's joking about like, no, it's not funny. Let me let her finish though.
And he just left. He left me there with the guy. Mind you, he's still in a towel. Left me there with him and took the 2 kids. We only had AJ and Aliyah with us.
He did the right thing. She takes him as a joke. It's sad. Like, you get on the internet saying very demure. Like, that right there was like a slap in the face. She just slapped him in the face. If you're going to be serious, I like how you started off. You're serious. You seem like you regret what you did. And then while you're explaining, you kill it and throw it all away by joking and saying very demure. That wasn't funny. There's no remorse in that. You show me how heartless you are. And we know, all guys know, women can be very heartless. And that's a perfect example of a heartless woman right there. But guys already know. And guys are trying to avoid dealing with women like that. But it's hard though. You get married in the West, you never know. But guys are avoiding that because they've realized there's definitely more to life than dealing with a woman like that.
Brothers! What we do in life echoes in eternity.